Hey kiddos, today we're going to be reading the story called My Rows and Piles of Coins. It's a story that does not take place in America. So, we live in the United States of America. We live in Ohio, which is about right here on the globe. Today we're going to be traveling while we read to a country called Tanzania. Tanzania is a country located in Africa. So if I took a plane, you have to take a plane across the Atlantic Ocean, I would go all the way to the continent of Africa. This is the continent of Africa, and the story takes place in this country here called Tanzania. Tanzania is located near the equator, so it is super hot there most of the time. Today, before we read the story, we're going to be learning about the Tanzanian culture because it is much different than our culture here in America. So, the Tanzanian culture. Let me pull up our PowerPoint. All right, kiddos. So, Tanzania, Africa. Tanzania is a country in Africa. So if I look at the map again, this is Africa. This is Tanzania. Now look, this is the equator. Anytime something is really close to the equator, it's super hot there. People who live in Tanzania probably have never ever experienced snow unless they've went somewhere else. So again, Tanzania is located right by the equator in Africa. This is the Tanzanian flag. Notice that it's much different than the United States flag. Our flag is red, white, and blue and has stars. The Tanzanian flag has green, blue, yellow, and black, and is much simpler than the United States flag. So let's learn about the Tanzanian people. When I say Tanzanian, that means that they're people from Tanzania. For instance, we live in Ohio, so we're called Ohioans. Or I live in the United States of America, so I'm called an American. So if you live in Tanzania, you're called a Tanzanian. All right, if I visited Tanzania, this is what the people would look like. They do dress much differently than we do, and they tend to keep their hair much shorter than we do. Here's a group of children in Tanzania. Notice the jewelry. Notice that they are a little dirtier than us. Most people in Tanzania aren't going to have running water like we do. We're super blessed to have those things here in America. This is a Tanzanian tribe. In Tanzania, people still live in what is called villages. They're small communities of people. This is what a Tanzanian village would look like. Notice that their homes are much different than ours. Their homes are going to be made out of mud, and then on the top, they're going to use some type of grass for their roof. Most of their homes are only going to be one room, meaning your kitchen, your bedroom, your living room are all in the same room. Here is another picture of a Tanzanian village. You can notice in the background here that there's several different huts back here, but most of their homes in Tanzania are going to be one room. Here's another picture of a Tanzanian village. This is what the typical homes would look like, but if you look here, this looks more like a brick home with a metal roof, which is a little bit different than the two huts that you see here. So this would still only have one room. They would all have to share. So if I had 5 people in my family, we would all be living in one room. There wouldn't be electricity. There also wouldn't be indoor plumbing. People in Tanzania are much poorer than we are here in the United States. Next, we're going to talk about Tanzanian markets. In the United States, we're able to go to Walmart, but in Tanzania, they don't have the Walmarts that we do. This is a typical Tanzanian market. Everything is brought to the market on certain days of the week. And then you would go to each vendor or each person selling something, and you would ask them to buy their foods. Maybe you need some tomatoes or fruits. You would go to that vendor. Or maybe you need to buy some meat. You would go to that vendor. All of these markets are typically outside. The reason why is, remember, it's always hot there, so they don't have to worry about cold temperatures like we do here. Here's another picture of a Tanzanian market. This person is selling fruits like pineapples and watermelons. Here is another picture of a Tanzanian market. This person is selling rice and beans and grains and things like that. Here's another picture of a Tanzanian market. Notice that it's outside. People are going from vendor to vendor. That is what a Tanzanian market would look like if we went there today. Well, does Tanzanian money look like our money? No. Every country that you visit is going to have their own kind of money. So what does Tanzanian money look like? This is a Tanzanian dollar bill or a bill or cash. This one has an elephant on it. And the reason is because Africa does have these kind of wild animals. Here's another picture. This one has a rhino. Now this is at $5,000, like we would look at it in America. All money, depending on what country you go to, is worth different amounts of money. Here is what the Tanzanian coins look like. There's a rabbit on them, and an ostrich, and a zebra, and a marlin, which is this type of fish. These must be important people in the Tanzanian country. So that's what Tanzanian money looks like. All right, kiddos, I really hope that you enjoy reading My Rows and Piles of Coins. It's a great story to learn about another person's culture or their way of life. I hope you enjoy. See you soon.